Yasa, and we've just done another Thursday night group clearing. Allow me to explain what we cleared this evening. You've heard me talk about the Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros is the graphic where the snake bites its own tail. Now it's called the Ouroboros, and it's known as the cycle of life. And seeing it's a cycle, it works on a what the hell do you call that? A flat diagram, a circle. It works in a circle. That's what I was trying to find. Now, when you decode the Ouroboros, 12 o'clock is straight up and down, and that's a very strong threshold. This is where we come out ready for a new incarnation. Bubs, we need a Bubs. Here we go. Coming up for a new incarnation. Now, this is when anyone gets an idea that comes out from the fourth dimension into the third dimension. And we think about it, and we plan it, and it's all kept up in our head, which means it's kept in the fourth dimension. And right about when we have done all the planning, everything's fantastic, we've organised what we've got, how we're going to fit it into a reality, which is the same as fitting into mum and dad's reality. Because whenever we go to create anything, the subconscious mind is patterned to be on an Ouroboros. So then we conceive the idea, and this is when we decide to ground it into the third dimension, because at the moment this is still fourth dimensional. Third dimension, that's where we start writing notes and we start planning things. And in gestation, conception is where the masculine meets the feminine. Yep. And it's getting prepared for the next threshold. This is the 3 o'clock threshold, which is conception. Then you are gestating your idea, so you're practicing it, you are organising it. Every idea we have is gestated. So therefore we go. And even if it's just travelling, if I want to go and put something in the rubbish bin, I think about it here, I get the idea at 12 o'clock, then I quickly think about, okay, how am I going to get up out of my seat? Where's the rubbish? Go through that door, and the rubbish bin's over there outside the house. Then, as soon as I stand up to get the rubbish, I've conceived the idea. So I pick up the rubbish, and as I'm walking to the rubbish bin, go through the door. When I put it into the rubbish bin, I have birthed that idea, and it's a quick idea. I'm going to put this in the rubbish bin, and that's birthed. Put it in the rubbish bin, and then come back, and the next threshold is where it's 9 o'clock and we have completed what task we have decided to do. Any size of task is on the Ouroboros, no matter how big or small, it's all here. Now tonight, the clearing was everyone had reached their 9 o'clock and they had had a completion, and seeing this being here's up on a pyramid, they were successful. It was like, yeah, man, that was great. So at 9 o'clock, they are successful. They had a 10 o'clock where they had an emotional response from being successful. And then they debriefed, wow, what a great game of rugby. Someone went to the rugby and their team won. Irani and I had things that we were ready for the next stage. We've been doing a lot of completing and a lot of finishing, and that's a lot of 9 o'clock. We'd had a 10 o'clock where we patted ourselves on the back and we went out for dinner and thought, great, it's great. Now what's the next situation, or what's the next project? So you go down, and remember, this is the same as a lifetime. This is when someone passes over. In the fourth dimension, there is an emotional response. Then they have a debrief. and then they go back into the soul group, and then they go, right, what's my next mission? Vacancy turns up, so you come out at 12 o'clock and you start thinking about your next incarnation. Now, what we did tonight was we had a successful 9 o'clock. It was great. It was Yahoo. We completed, we achieved, we were successful, and it was on a positive. Then we were ready for the next journey, the next task, and the next task, which we thought was going to be fantastic, turned out to be a bummer. Turned out to be a disappointment. It was tricky, it was hard, it was nothing what we expected, and it was a downer. So have a think to yourself. When have you been successful? When have you perhaps saved up money for something, or you've worked hard to be successful and it worked for you, and it's like, yee-haw, I've actually succeeded at something. Right, what's the next thing? My example was I've upgraded myself ready for a more successful phone, and I got my new phone, and it was perceived by me as a bloody pain. It's like, that's changed. Where the hell is this? What have they done with that? So it was actually a downer. So, and I've been playing this all week, where I'm ready, I've done the successful thing, everything's going really good, and then all of a sudden it's like, the next step in the journey is like, damn, and it's a disappointment. So we took it back to, we had a really good incarnation last time, and we were ready to have a new incarnation and a new journey, and we were ready to have the embodiment of another person, so we can grow and expand even better. So we get down here and we get in amongst the gestation thing, and it's like, far out. This is not that good. This is harder. This is trickier. Or I've got the same stuff from last incarnation and it's brassing me off. That is a pattern. Have a think to yourself. Have you ever thought, far out, who would have ever thought that I'd want this kind of incarnation? Why the hell would I want to live in this incarnation? Well, that's what the pattern was that we were clearing tonight. It was a very good clearing. We've never done a clearing like this, and we seldom have a repeat. In fact, I am sure that we have never had a repeat of clearings. This is a whole new aspect, because everyone who turned up tonight had a big and a successful move on, and the move on part was the opposite to what they thought it was going to be. And that's what the clearing was for tonight. If anyone's keen on joining the public clearing, please just register on Being Human, and you can turn up in person, or if you like, you can register. We record every Thursday night, and for the ones, there are some beings who prefer not to turn up on the night, but for us to send them the copy of the clearing, so they can sit down when they are able to go over the clearing, because what we do is we talk about the pattern. The pattern is universal, so therefore the person can put their own specific issues onto that pattern, and they get a clearing out of it, which is great, because every clearing is another step towards subconscious enlightenment. And when we get subconscious enlightenment, we get conscious enlightenment. Okay, well, that's this Thursday night. Is there anything else I could say on this, darling?
No, I can't think of anything else.
The next course that we're going to be running is an income course, and that's in about 2 weeks. If anyone's interested in changing their income patterning, if you've thought recently that, far out, I'm sick of my job, why do I always keep on getting this job? I'd like to try something different. That's when you clear your patterning, so your subconscious mind has different software. It has this kind of software in your matrix, and this is unlimited. When we have patterning, excuse me, Bubs, when we have patterning, it will keep us stuck at, say, 8 o'clock, because you're patterned to have a job and get an income at 8 o'clock, whatever that is. So what you do is you clear that patterning out, and you put the flame in there, and that puts you here. So here we go. Without that patterning forcing you to go to 8 o'clock every time, you subconsciously have free choice. You can still go to 8 o'clock if you wish, but the point is, we have taken away the emotional attachment that makes you go there all the time. You have free choice, and you could try something else. 8 o'clock may be inside, and you've always wanted an outside job. While you've got the patterning, you are always going to be forced to do inside jobs. Perhaps you have a program to always do the physical stuff, which let's say is 4 o'clock, and you always run around after other people physically doing all their jobs for them, when you'd actually like to become an artist or do something less physically demanding. What you do is you go in here and you clear that patterning out, so you can have a variation of employment or self-employment. That's another one. You may be programmed to always work for someone else. Never be self-employed. Always work under the guise of someone else. So what happens is that you have a programming to make them money rather than make you money, because you are on a steady, plateaued income. However, you use your mental, physical and emotional well-being to earn another person's income. If you wanted to become self-employed or be in charge of your own destiny, you would have to clear these patternings so you can have a go at being self-employed. Well,
there are people who are self-employed, already have their own businesses, and they just want to be able to make them grow and be successful rather than little hobby backyard businesses.
Yeah. Everything that we generate in the third dimension comes from subconscious mind programs. They determine everything: relationships, income, where we live, what we do when we live at that place, where we go, when we go out and about. Everything is determined in our third dimensional reality by subconscious programs. And it's good to clear them. Give yourself free choice. You know, that's your call. We're here, ready to rock and roll. If you ever want to give us a call or drop us a message, we're more than happy to help you to clear your programming. Okay. Have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you after. You'll probably see me before that, but I'll see you after next Thursday night's spectacular clearing. Cheers.